fire has killed 8 people, including 4 children, at the Taiwan informal settlement in Khayelitsha. For more on this, Theo Layne joins us now. He's from the City of Cape Town's Fire and Rescue Services. Theo, good afternoon, and thank you for coming through. So give us a bit more detail on this particular fire in the Taiwan informal settlement, particularly deadly. What happened?
Good afternoon. By the time we arrived there, that was at about 20 to 2 this morning. We had 3 fire engines, a water tank and a rescue vehicle. And when we got there, the 4 structures were already what we call well alight. So we had reports on our arrival that there are still people in one of the structures. And the fire crews then proceeded to try to locate the victims. Which they done shortly after arriving there.
Please put these fires into perspective for us then, Theo. I mean, this fire that we saw today took these lives, the lives that we're mentioning, of 8 people. Last month, around the 12th of March, we were actually talking, about 2 months ago actually, the 12th of March, we were talking about 10 people dead in various fires in one day. Are these fires getting more deadly?
Unfortunately, we won't say that it's getting more deadly, but we do have sporadic occurrences where large quantities of structures or a lot of people die in fires. And we find that most of our fires that we are attending to, the 1 or 2 or 3 structures are where we're finding most of the fatalities. The larger fires that we normally attend to, we will possibly have 1 fatality, but the bulk of the fatality is in the smaller structures. And most of these are caused, if you look at the causes of the various fires, it's caused by the improper use of cooking material, electrical devices, especially electrical devices. So it just depends on the time of year, which also will indicate how many structures we respond to. In this case, as the police has indicated, that it is a instance of arson. And during the domestic disputes, we do find that there are many occasions that it is differences of opinion by the residents or families that these large amount of fatalities occur.
So it's very interesting what you mentioned when you talk about improper use of electric devices, because when people think about you know, shack fires, you immediately think these are places that don't have electricity in many instances, and therefore would be using things like paraffin for their energy sources. But there's been a study that has indicated that the increased electrification of informal settlements has not necessarily led to a decline in the number of fires that are taking place. Is that your experience?
Most definitely. What we find is that because each structure has got one specific dedicated electrical supply coming in, we find electrical devices are connected all to one plug. This is then going to result in short-circuiting, and because they don't have proper distribution boards when they're using these electrical wires, it then will cause the current to actually start sparking, which then will spread to combustible materials.
So what can people do, Theo? I mean, we are headed for, you know, the colder winter months in the coming 2 months or so. What practical measures can people take, particularly to deal with those, you know, electric connection fires, but also the traditional fires that, you know, were sparked by the other sources of energy?
Yes, so we find that there's a very big diversity of devices that's been used. This includes paraffin, as you mentioned earlier. We have LPG, liquid petroleum gas cylinders. We have heaters that are electrical, as well as paraffin, as well as gas. So the main thing is all fires are caused through some form of either negligence, accidental as it might be, we do find that people should take a lot more caution, have a lot more caution when they are using these devices, especially where there are small children around. We find that people are trying to keep warm and putting heaters close to the bed. A blanket falls off onto the heater, or some people are still using heaters to dry clothes, especially when we have constant rain. And these are all contributing to the number of incidents that we are responding to on a daily basis. Whilst not every incident has got fatalities, there is a significant amount of loss, especially to the individual owners.